Welcome back to another video. My name is UFC Investor. In this video, we're going to be talking about my bets, predictions, and picks for UFC 311, Islam Makhachev versus Arman Tsarukyan 2. This is the second time they're fighting, guys, so I'm really excited because we have fighters like Benny Dariush, Jiri, Jamal Hill, Merab, Umar, Ailín, Pérez, Peyton Talbot. So it should be a great set of fights this coming Saturday. So let's get started with the first fight. Okay, guys, so for the first fight of the night, we have Tagir Ulanbekov, Khabib's cousin, versus Clayton Carpenter. Right off the bat, I'm just going to show you guys my pick. I'm going to be picking Tagir because right now the odds are just kind of really leaning really heavily, or pretty heavily, into Tagir. I also do think he is actually, I don't want to say he's better, but he's just more proven. In the UFC, he's around, I believe, 4-1 in the UFC. Yeah, 4-1 in the UFC versus Clayton Carpenter, who is undefeated, yes, 2-0 in the UFC. So I kind of do think that Tagir has kind of proven himself more. He's fought the better guys pretty much. But I'm not completely convinced because Tagir has lost before and Clayton Carpenter is undefeated. So I do think he does have a good chance. If I were to pick Carpenter, I do think he could get a sub, if not a submission, I think. Ulanbekov has never been KO'd before. He's never gotten a KO before either. So I would assume Clayton would want to try to keep it on the feet and try to take advantage of maybe his better striking. So I'm not too sure if Clayton's going to be able to keep it on the ground or on the feet. And I'm assuming Tagir, with his background in wrestling, being Khabib's cousin, I'm assuming that's probably going to be really dominant here, and that's why he's such a big favorite. So in saying that, I'm going to be picking Tagir by decision, and I'm gonna be probably betting on Clayton Carpenter to win by maybe like a submission or a decision, because in my head I'm thinking, okay, I don't think he's gonna knock out Tagir, but he could win by a decision if he points it out by staying up, or he can catch Tagir in a submission when like Tagir throws a takedown or something like that. So for sure I'm gonna be going Tagir by decision on this one, but for sure going to be putting like 50 cents on submission or decision for Clayton Carpenter. And I'll tell you guys at the end of the video, I did make some actual money this past weekend. So yeah, hopefully this weekend is the same. But yeah, that's what I'm going with my first fight. Let's go to the next fight. Okay, guys, so for the second fight of the night, we have Ricky Turcios versus Benardo Sopaj. I'm really excited about this fight because I honestly think Sopaj is a way better fighter here. I would say he's my second most confident pick because I just don't think Turcios is that good. If you guys look at Turcios' record, his last fight he lost to Raul Rosas, who was pretty decent grappler pretty much. He ended up getting choked out in round 2, but before that he got a split decision win versus Kevin Natividad. So I don't want to say he completely sucks, but I'm not convinced. I just have like this image in my head of him just throwing punches in the air and not landing on anything. I think he was fighting as a hobby in that fight, and I was like, wow, he's not that good. And then on the other hand, we have Sopaj, who just got knocked out pretty brutally versus Vinicius Oliveira. If you guys haven't seen it, I suggest watching that KO because it's really good. But it's a pretty how should I put it? It's been a year pretty much. He got knocked out in March of 2024, so it's almost a year. So he has had time to recover, and I do think that he's going to be able to TKO Ricky Turcios. I'm picking him to get a knockout in round 2 versus Ricky because I do know that Ricky is durable, but I'm thinking maybe he could just land something good enough to like rock him and get a TKO finish. So I'm for sure going to be going Sopaj by round 2 TKO. Let me know what you guys think because I really do think the minus 280 odds is like pretty accurate because I don't know, I'm just not convinced Turcios is that good. He did win tough, but I don't know, I just don't think he's that good. And Sopaj, when I think I saw him fight before the Vinicius fight, and I just saw that he was pretty decent. Against Turcios, I do think he can get the win. I don't think he's gonna get knocked out by Turcios. He might get subbed by Turcios maybe, but I do think Sopaj can get the win here. But let's go to the next fight. Alright guys, so for this next fight, the third fight of the night, we have Rinya Nakamura versus Muin Gafurov. This one, if you guys look at the odds, it's pretty heavily favorited onto Rinya's side versus Muin. And I think that's because of a couple things. If you guys look at Nakamura's record, he's 3-0 in the UFC. He's undefeated, and one of those 3 wins, he got a round 1 KO, and the other 2 were unanimous decision wins. If you guys look at his typology picture, he's pretty much a wrestler. And honestly, I don't remember seeing him fight, but apparently he's pretty decent for him to get 3-0 in the UFC and being wrestling based. Versus Muin, who I have remembered him fighting before, and I could have swore he was pretty decent. And I thought he was actually gonna win the fight versus John Castaneda. I think that was the fight where I was kind of like, I think he got a point deduction on that fight. I'm not too sure, but he ended up losing again versus Said Nurmagomedov in round 1, guillotine choke. But he just got a win versus Kyung Ho Kang in July of 2024. So actually June. So I'm not fully convinced that Rinya's gonna get the win here. I'm for sure gonna pick him. I'm gonna be picking Rinya by decision, but I'm just not fully convinced that he's gonna get the win. I think if Muin were to win, I think he'd probably get a decision win. Maybe let me think. A KO, I think maybe. So, but I'm pretty sure if Muin were to win, it'd probably be by decision if I were to pick. But I could see him also getting a KO. I don't see him getting a submission. I mean, just based off his last 5 fights or last 6 fights, he's lost 3, and the other 2 were TKOs in round 2 and 3, and then he got a decision win just recently versus Kyung. So I do think Muin isn't gonna get like finished. I think this one's for sure gonna go the distance, I think. So if anything, if I were to bet, I'll probably go I'd probably bet it going the distance, but I do think Rinya probably has the upper hand with the wrestling, with the experience, 3-0. I think that kind of says a lot. So I'm gonna be picking Rinya, but not fully convinced, kind of really on the low confidence end on this one. But let me know what you guys think. Let's go to the next fight. Okay guys, so for this next fight we have Karol Rosa versus Ailín Pérez. This one, I was honestly surprised that Ailín Pérez was the underdog. Right now, they have her at a plus 215. And I honestly thought it'd be more of a pick'em because Karol Rosa, yeah, she does have a good record in the UFC. I believe she's 7-3 in the UFC versus Ailín Pérez, who is 4-1 in the UFC. But I don't know. I'm just kind of surprised because I would say obviously Ailín Pérez's plan is probably just going to be to take it to the ground and try to get a submission or a ground and pound. But that's all kind of hoping that Karol Rosa has the takedown defense or doesn't have the takedown defense to stay on the feet. So in my head, I'm pretty sure it's just going to be the same plan for Pérez to try to take Karol to the ground, and Karol's just going to try to stay up and outstrike her. So I'm just kind of thinking, like, I don't know. You look at Karol Rosas's takedown defense percentage on the UFC stats, and it's only 68%. And yeah, it's pretty decent, like 70% pretty much. But I don't know. Ailín does 5 takedowns for 15 minutes. So it just makes me think if she lands like 2 of those, it could very well go into like a split decision. Maybe if she lands 1 each round, I could see Ailín Pérez just getting the decision win. Maybe against some people's like thoughts, maybe like a split decision win. So even though the odds have Karol Rosa as a favorite at minus 255, I think I'm gonna go with the underdog again. I kind of messed up. Well, not messed up, but I kind of regretted going the underdog in a WMA fight the last weekend. But I don't know. I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna pick Ailín Pérez to win by decision. This is me hoping that Karol Rosa doesn't have the takedown defense and Ailín Pérez can somehow just get the win by ground and pound or a submission maybe. And I do know Karol Rosa has really good experience, but I don't know. I just think Ailín Pérez is on the rise, and I think she can get a decision win, at least a split decision win, I'm hoping. So let me know what you guys think. I'm really excited about this fight because I'm honestly a little unsure what's going to happen. I guess not really too unsure. It's either 2 things. It's either Pérez takes her to the ground and does what she usually does, or Karol Rosa manages to stay on the feet and it becomes a striking match. And I wonder if Ailín Pérez has the striking to keep up with Rosa. So it makes me wonder. And I would hope also that if Ailín Pérez can't get all the takedowns, maybe she can get a couple and then also outpoint her on the feet. Who knows? So I'm going to be picking this Pérez by decision. But let's go to the next fight. Alright guys, so for this next fight we have Zachary Reese versus Azamat Bekoev. This one, guys, now that I'm looking at it, I'm really unsure about my pick because when I first looked at it, I was going to go a Reese by decision. But now that I'm looking at Azamat's record, I didn't even notice that. Yeah, I knew that he was fighting in the LFA, but I didn't know he was the champ at LFA. He just had his 2nd title defense. consecutive title defense, and it just makes me wonder, like, okay, well, Zach Reese, he's 2-1 in the UFC, which is pretty decent, and he just got off of winning over Jose Medina, decision unanimous, and then right before that, he got a round 1 a KO performance of the night, pretty much. So Reese is on a good trajectory so far versus Azamat over here, who is the LFA champion, just defended, getting a round 2 TKO, and then before that he's been on a bunch of wins, but he has lost before. He's 18-3 in total. He trains at American Top Team, but he's never fought in the UFC, so it just kind of makes me think, okay, like, what is I guess in terms of MMA math, maybe, like, what is it valued more, the LFA wins at a championship level or 2 wins in the UFC consecutively? I think either way it should be a good fight, because it makes me wonder who's going to have the edge. So I guess maybe they're still deciding the odds. I'm thinking it might be more of a pick'em now, but I'm still going to be siding with Reese. I'm going to be siding with Reese because he does have the full camp, and compared to Azamat, who I'm not sure if he was ready for the fight. I'm assuming he's probably always in shape too, as a champ, and probably maybe waiting for a UFC call. Who knows? But yeah, I'm going to be picking Reese on this one. Definitely not going to be wanting to bet either side in parlays, but I guess in terms of getting something right, I'll probably be betting Reese, or picking Reese and then betting Azamat. Either way, maybe I win. So, but let's go to the next fight. Okay, guys. So for this next fight, we have Grant Dawson versus Diego Ferreira. And this one, I'm gonna be going with Grant Dawson by decision, because I do think he still has. Oh wait, where'd it go? I do think he still has a good capability of winning, because if you guys look at his record, he's 10-1 in the UFC versus Diego Ferreira, who's 10-5 in the UFC. So I'm not fully convinced Diego's gonna be able to beat Dawson. I am picking Dawson by decision, but if I were to bet, I think I'm gonna be betting Diego by KO, because we all saw how Bobby Green KO'd Dawson. So I'm probably gonna be throwing 50 cents on Diego to get a KO in round 1 or 2. His last 2 wins were round 2 TKO, so I do think it's possible. I'm probably going to be betting just that $1 on those 2 rounds and seeing if Diego gets the win. But in terms of picks, I'm going to be going with Dawson. Let me know what you guys think about this one, because I was pretty not heavily picking, but I was pretty confident Dawson would win this. But now that I'm thinking about it, I'm not too sure. Not too sure about Dawson's chin. But yeah, guys, let's go to the next fight. Okay, so for this next fight, we have Bogdan Guskov, Anthony Smith's alter ego, versus Billy Elekana. This one, guys, I'm just gonna go right off the bat and pick Bogdan on this one. I'm pretty where'd he go? The hell? Oh, there he goes. I'm pretty convinced Bogdan should be able to get the win here, mostly because of the UFC experience. Even the odds have him at a pretty big favorite at a -300. Billy's a +250. Billy on one side has had some wins in LXF and then 2 wins in PFL. One of them was a split decision win in PFL. So I'm not too fully convinced that guy's that good. But on Bogdan, on the other hand, he's had 3 fights in the UFC, and the last 2 were wins and performances of the night. So this guy's doing really good. He's getting finishes in rounds 1 and 2. So I'm going to be picking him by round 1 KO. I do think he can KO Billy, and I think he's going to be able to show the UFC experience that he's been getting. And yeah, guys, I kind of really like this pick. I'm not fully convinced, but I would say it's like my 3rd most confident pick. Yeah, I really like this pick. Let me know what you guys think, but let's go to the next fight. In this next fight, we have Jailton Almeida versus Serghei Spivac. This one should be a really good fight. I think there's going to be a finish in this fight. If I were to bet this fight, I don't think it's going to go the distance, but my pick is for Serghei. I think he just has the more experience. Yeah, he's lost more, but he's only recently lost to Ciryl Gane, Tom Aspinall, pretty much the best heavyweights on the planet right now. And Jailton, on the other hand, he's lost to Curtis Blades, which isn't a bad loss, but I'm just saying, I'm not convinced that he's just going to be able to get a win on Spivac. I think his plan is just going to be able to try to take it to the ground, and I'm pretty sure Spivac knows this. So I'm pretty sure Spivac should be prepared, but I'm not fully confident on this pick. I really do think it's like 50-50. I do think that Spivac is the winner on this one though. The odds have Spivac at a at a plus 330. So I'm honestly a little surprised. I probably am gonna bet on him because I just don't think the odds should be that badly on the side of Jailton. Yeah, I do think he's really good and he was on a roll, but I don't know. I'm just not convinced. So for sure, this is kind of convincing me that I'm probably gonna be betting Serghei, and I think I'm still gonna be picking Serghei too, even though he's such a favorite underdog or a heavy underdog. But still, I like Serghei pick on this one, and I'm not fully convinced that Jailton is the guy to beat him. I would say he still needs some more like improvement, like on the feet. I think Spivac has like both the ground and the decent striking. So I'm gonna be picking Serghei by round two TKO. I think Spivac can get the finish on this one versus Almeida. And yeah, guys, let me know what you guys think about this one. This one should be a really good fight. Like I said, I don't think it's gonna go to decision, but let's go to the next fight. Okay, guys. So for this next fight, we have Peyton Talbot versus Raoni Barcelos. I'm not gonna try to convince you guys, but I think Peyton Talbot's gonna win. If you guys already know, he's such a huge favorite at the moment at a minus 1200 versus Raoni, who's a plus 750. Other than telling you guys that I'm gonna be picking a round one KO for Peyton Talbot, I'll probably just be putting like $1 or something on Raoni just for fun. You know, you never know. I'm gonna be probably putting 50 cents on him to win by a submission and maybe a KO. But a decision, I don't think Raoni's gonna win a decision here. I think Talbot's gonna be on the hunt. He's probably gonna get a finish, but in case he doesn't, he might get caught or something in a submission or a KO or something. So yeah, guys, Peyton Talbot, round one KO. Not much to talk about on this one. Let's go to the next fight. All right, guys. So for this next fight, we have Kevin Holland versus Reinier de Ridder. I'm really excited about this fight, guys, because I think it's going to be a really good fight. I think there's going to be a finish in this one. We have Kevin Holland on one side, who, if you guys didn't know, has saved people, has caught a thief. What else? I think he almost got shot one time or something like that. So he's pretty much like a hero in a natural fighter versus Reinier de Ridder, who's coming from another organization. I think it's one FC or just one, and he he ended up losing 3 fights in a row at one. But actually, I'm sorry. 2 fights versus Anatoly, who's apparently really good. Never heard of him, honestly. Might be a casual for saying that, but and he's also lost a grappling match versus Ty Rotullo. So he's for sure has experience with like high level people, and then he came to UAE Warriors, got a round 1 finish, and then he just got a win on GM3 in the UFC, round 3 choke. You know, which is kind of saying a lot. Submitting GM3. So I think, guys, that this one's gonna be another submission win for RDR. If you guys were listening earlier, I said I mentioned my second favorite pick. This is my first most confident pick, even though the odds have him at a minus 11 and Holland's a minus 109, pretty much a pick 'em. I don't know. I'm just pretty convinced that RDR is gonna be able to get a win here, and I think he's gonna be able to sub Holland, even though Holland doesn't get submitted often. I do think it's possible. Holland, and like how I like to say to some of my Discord fans, he only beats old guys, and I don't think he's going to be able to beat RDR, who just came off a win off of GM3 subbing him, and then before that he got a round 1 KO versus some guy named Mago Murad Kasayev. I'm not too sure if he's that good, but still I think RDR has the capability of beating Holland. I think if it comes down to it, I think RDR is going to want it more, and he's going to dog it out if anything. He might get a decision win, but I think he's going to be able to get a submission win on this one. But if I were to pick Kevin Holland, I do think he could get a TKO maybe out of all things. I don't think he's going to be able to sub RDR. At least I don't think so. If I were to pick Holland, I think it'd be KO. But for sure going to be picking RDR on this one, guys. Round 3 submission. Let's go to the next fight. All right, guys. So for this next fight, we have Beneil Dariush versus Renato Money Moicano. If you guys didn't know, Moicano has a YouTube channel. I watch it all the time. Not all the time, but I do watch it. And on this fight, I'm gonna be picking Renato, guys. I've been picking against him for like 2 or 3 fights in a row, and I've been wrong. And I'm just tired of picking against him. Even the people that are betting on him, they're choosing him over Dariush. He's a minus 170. Dariush is a plus 145. And then if you look at Dariush's record, it's kind of, I don't want to say justified, but yeah. Granted, it's been to Arman Tsarukyan, Charles Oliveira, but I don't know, getting finished in 2 fights in round 1 in a row is just kind of worrying. And I do think Renato can have the power or the striking to put out Dariush again. If not, maybe win by decision. But I'm not too confident, guys, because I do know how good Dariush is. And if his chin isn't completely broken, I do think Dariush can maybe get like a decision win on this one, maybe come back. So I'm not fully convinced Renato's going to win. I am going to be picking him by round 2 TKO. Kind of hoping that Dariush's chin is broken and then Moicano can get another finish in round 2. So I'm going to be picking round 2 Moicano, but still, guys, I'm not too sure. Let me know what you guys think about this one, because I do think it's a little closer than what the odds have him as. So I think it should be a pick 'em. But let's go to the next fight. All right, guys, so for this next fight, we have Jiri Prochazka versus Jamal Hill. This one should be a really good fight, guys. If you guys haven't been keeping up with all the trash talk, well, not much trash talk, but all the drama, I would say, you know, Jiri and Hill both saying that neither one of them deserve it, that their win is better, or that their loss over Alex is better than the other. So it's kind of funny. I'm just going to show you guys my pick. I am going to be picking Jiri by round 2 TKO. I do think Jiri can get a KO over Jamal, just like how Alex got a KO on Jamal. Alex KO'd Jamal in round 1, though. But I'm thinking Jiri should be able to survive Jamal's strikes and maybe finish him and then like an exchange. So I'm going to be picking Jiri on this one. But as I'm saying that, you guys can probably kind of tell that I'm not too confident. And I'll be picking Jiri, but I'm going to be betting Jamal on this one, guys. Jiri is a plus 100 supposedly. I'm kind of surprised. I got to double check that on Bovada. He is a plus 102, and Jamal is a minus 120. So maybe my betting thoughts are right, because I shouldn't say I honestly think Hill's gonna win, and me picking Jiri, but I think it's just one of those ones where it's like, at first I was picking Jiri, and that's kind of like where my heart is telling me to pick, because I do think Jiri should be able to get a win on this one, but my head is just telling me that Hill is probably gonna be more technical than Jiri and get a KO on him. So, like I said, I think I'm going to be betting Jamal and picking Jiri, just like some of the other fights, because I'm really unsure. So, and when I say bet, I'm probably going to be betting like maybe like $5 on Hill. You know, nothing crazy, but something substantial, at least for me. So, not fully convinced that either one is going to have the upper hand, because I really do think both of them are, not to say equal, but they're both very dangerous. And I think either one can get a finish. So, like I said, guys, picking Jiri, but betting Jamal. Let me know what you guys are going to pick on this one. I feel like a lot of people are very, like, this one's a very polarizing fight. It's either you're one side or the other. And then with all the Jamal Hill hate, I'm kind of surprised that people are picking him, that he is a favorite. So, it does remind me that Hill is kind of getting hated right now. So, I feel like he normally would be more of a favorite right now if he wasn't, posting all this stuff that make people, like, hate him. So let me know what you guys think. Let's go to the next fight. All right, guys. So for the second last fight of the night, we have Merab Dvalishvili versus Umar Nurmagomedov. This is Khabib's cousin versus Aljo's boy. I'm really conflicted about this one, guys, because at first I was going Merab, but now I'm gonna be picking Umar by decision on this one. I'm just kind of worried about I think people are betting Umar because he just is undefeated. He's part of Khabib's family, and he's just really good. And I'm kind of convinced after seeing him, I would say outstrike Sandhagen. I think he's gonna be able to beat Merab. Like, if their grappling nullifies each other, I think it's gonna come down to striking, and I think Umar has better striking. I think Merab, all he has is his cardio and the grappling, and if Umar can keep a distance or just defend the takedowns and outstrike Merab, I think it's going to be an easy one for him. He might even get a finish. So I'm going to be picking Umar by decision on this one. I do think it's 5 rounds. I'm not too sure. I believe it is, but I still think even if it was 3 rounds, I think Umar could get the win. I do think Umar is just a better striker. I think their grappling is going to nullify each other. And yeah, I think I'm going to pick Umar on this one. In terms of betting, I don't think I'm going to want to bet either side, because I think it's just really volatile. Maybe I'll throw 50 cents on Merab by decision, and that's it. I don't think he's going to be able to finish Umar. On Umar's side, I think maybe I'll bet maybe like a TKO, or I hate to say like a TKO submission and decision. Maybe throw 50 cents at each. But even then, for the odds, I don't think it's worth it. I do think if I were to bet anything on this, it'd probably just be Merab by decision, and then just pick Umar, because I really do think Umar is gonna win on this one. I would say it's like my fourth most confident bet. I really do think Umar has the it factor. I think he works just as hard as Khabib and Islam do, and I think he's gonna win. But let me know what you guys think about this one. I think it's gonna be a really good fight. I feel a little bit bad for Merab if you were to lose, but I feel like he's already kind of showing some emotional stress in terms of like how he's reacting to Umar and stuff. I think he's kind of losing already the how should I say it? Like when they talk shit, I think he's losing that battle. I think Umar is probably a little bit more confident on this one, knowing that he has like the upper hand of kind of skipping a lot of good fighters to get to this. Because Merab, I think he did pay his dues, and who knows, maybe the injuries add up, maybe they don't. But I'm going to be picking Umar on this one. Let me know what you guys think. Let's go to the next fight. All right, guys. So for the last fight of the night, this coming Saturday on, what's the date? On January 18th, I believe, we have Islam versus Armin. This is going to be a really good fight, guys. This is the second time they're fighting. If you guys didn't know, Islam won the first fight by, I believe, decision. And I didn't know. I was watching him. I think it was Countdown or Embedded. That was the first fight Armin had in the UFC. So it's like a really big fight for him to go into in his first fight in the UFC debuting. So I think that kind of speaks volumes. But I am going to be picking Islam, guys. I just think he's better. I think he has proven more. He's been way better guys. Armin has been people like Charles Oliveira, Benny Dariush. Before that was Joaquin Silva, Damir Islam Magulov, and then he lost to Gamrot, out of all people. And I'm one of the people that likes Goat Rot. You know, I do think Goat Rot is pretty decent, but for him to lose, for him to beat Armin, I don't know, man. Goat Rot pretty much beats people just by wrestling and outpointing them by control time, I would say, and just kind of controlling the fight. And Islam, I would say he's a really skilled grappler that can do the same. I think Islam is also getting better on the stand-up. And I don't know. I just think Armin has also gone better over the time, but I also think Islam has gone better. And I do think him being on the cusp of like breaking or making history in terms of having the fourth consecutive title defense for his weight class and breaking that record, I think it's kind of driving him to be able to win this one. And I'm not saying once he does that he's gonna not try as hard, but I don't know. I think it's another factor for him to work on or to get motivated from. And I think Islam is gonna be able to be more hungry, more competitive, and I think he's gonna want to win no matter what. Just like all of his fights, he's 26-1 versus Armin, who's 22-3. And I'm not saying that just because of the MMA math, but just looking at the people that Islam's fought, I just think they're way better. And yeah, Armin got a split decision versus Charles Oliveira, and Islam literally finished him. So that kind of says enough for me. I'm going to be picking Islam by decision. I don't think he's going to be able to finish Armin on this one, even though I think he could get a KO. I think out of all things, I don't think he's going to sub Armin. I think Armin's pretty flexible, and I don't think he's going to get subbed easily. Plus, Armin's never been subbed before, so that's kind of says something too. If I were to pick Armin to win, I do think he could win by a KO. Out of all things, I don't think he's gonna get a decision win on Islam. If Armin were to win, I think it'd be a KO. I'll probably just bet like 50 cents on KO or submission for Armin, and that's it. Maybe a decision too. Remember, like $1.50 in total. So nothing crazy. But I'm gonna be picking Islam decision on this one. Let me know what you guys think about this fight. I think it's gonna be a really good fight, and overall, it's gonna be a great night. I think of really good fights. I'm super excited. I think I worked that day, so unfortunately I'm not going to be able to see it from the start like on without getting distracted, but I should be able to catch the end pretty well and enjoy the night. I'm super excited. I'm going to be betting probably like like $25, $20 at least. And as I mentioned in the first part of the video, I did make, I'll show you guys right now in this slide or in this image, I did make like $6 this past weekend, so I didn't lose all my money this time. I actually made some money for once, and I say that because I usually lose all my money. So I'm kind of excited that I finally made some money. I'll be able to use that $5 of positive money, I guess, or winnings to bet on this fight. I'll probably just end up betting the whole $30, honestly. Who knows? But regardless, I'm super excited. I'm excited to see Islam, Umar, Merab, a bunch of other people, Ailín. So it should be a really good set of fights, and I'm excited to see how the bets go. And I'm really excited to see how the picks go, because I think I picked 2 underdogs or 3, not too sure. In the last weekend, I got only 7 out of 14 picks right, so I'm not too happy about that. But you know, you'll win some, you lose some. I'm still ranked silver. I did lose some positions, but I'm still ranked silver at least. I'm not bronze, but I do want to get a better tier, and I want to get better in the rankings regardless. So I'm hoping this weekend should be good. I'm hoping I get those underdog picks right, if not the whole card or whole night right. But we'll see. If you guys also haven't noticed, I'm using a new mic right now. But I had a Blue Yeti. I don't know like the model, but it's just like a regular Blue Yeti. Ended up breaking, so I got this Yeti X, and it's a used one. But of course, it's used. It's damaged. That's why someone returned it. It still works right now, so I think I'm gonna be able to use it for the recordings, obviously. But I'm gonna be returning it. But unfortunately, I'll probably have to be getting another one. Who knows if I get like a new one or not? I think this one costs like around 100 used, so it's it's over 100 if I get it new. So we'll see what Amazon decides to let me do. But I'm thinking it does sound better in the mic quality. Let me know if you guys get to this point and you guys hear this. Let me know if it sounds okay. I do think it does sound better, so I'll probably be getting the same type. It's like the Yeti X. I do like it, so we'll see in the next video if I have this mic or not. I hope I do. And yeah, guys, let me know what you guys think about the video. Comment below what you guys think, what you guys gonna be picking, what you guys gonna be doing this Saturday. I think it's gonna be a really, really, really good fight night, or a good Saturday night for UFC fights. I'm super excited. And also, I do want to mention that I still have the goal of at least getting 50 subscribers. We have 49 subscribers right now. I've been getting a subscriber here and there every so often, but my goal is to still get 100 subscribers by the end of I would say in the next couple months. I want to get at least 100 subscribers in like a month or 2 months max, you know. So the more the merrier. I think I'm gonna for sure try to be making more videos, like I always say. But I think this time I've been more motivated to make other types of videos, because I don't know. These picks videos are great because I always do them, but I feel like it gets kind of repetitive sometimes. And I feel like if I make new content, it'll be even more fun. But let me know what you guys think about that. Regardless, comment below, like the video, please subscribe. I really appreciate it if you guys like the video or subscribe. It definitely does help me out, especially at this level of subscribers. I have almost 50 subscribers, so there's like 50 of us in here pretty much. But if I get 100, you know, and so forth, it'll keep climbing. And yeah, guys, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys in the next video.